Well, Gold Coast residents are still reeling from the SeaWorld helicopter collision that claimed the lives of 4 people on Monday, with another 3 still in critical conditions.
Ron Drevlak lives in the area and witnessed the crash. He bravely raced down to help rescue victims from the tragic accident. And Ron joins us this morning. Ron, good morning to you. Thanks so much for your time. I know it was a really difficult situation you found yourself in. You were walking along the shoreline as this all unfolded. Are you able to tell us what you saw?
Yeah, it was pretty confronting. I saw everything from the point of impact to the point where the first chopper hit the ground, and then just instinct kicked in to run and help.
And you did exactly that, rushing to the crash site with no hesitation. Tell us what you're expecting as you race there.
In the back of my mind, I expected bad things, but it just didn't occur to me at the time, because I can still quite clearly remember that when I got to the first chopper, the second one wasn't even on the ground. The noise and everything was still like buzzing all around us.
Are you able to tell us, obviously, when you got there, what you did when you finally managed to reach the victims?
Upon getting there, I could see the passenger and I think it was Vanessa in the back. They were still strapped into their seats. There was a lot of shouting, a lot of noise, a lot of heat. The smell of aviation fuel was really overwhelming. And then somebody was screaming for a knife, so we could cut the seat belts, which we did. First we pulled Ron out, and then beside him, his wife, we pulled them out, and then by that time somebody had cut the seatbelt and pulled Vanessa out and started doing CPR on her. It was pretty clear that Ron and his wife were deceased, so I ran around the other side to where I heard Winnie, that was still trapped in the chopper. She was screaming. From my vantage point, where I fell to my knees and I was looking up into the back of it, and I was looking at her, and all I could see was just raw aviation fuel pouring onto her, to which point I screamed for someone to see if they could get me a bucket, to which it seemed an eternity until it turned up, and then I started, just because the chopper was so close to the water, I just started grabbing buckets of water and tipping it down the tail section that was broken off. It was running down on her and she was screaming, and I fell down to my knees again, and I said to her, don't worry, I'm just pouring water on you to try and dilute the fuel. I said, I know it's hurting. I said, but help is on the way.
Ron, it's remarkable given the conditions. You're saying there's a chopper still in the air, that aviation fuel, the smells. Was there any consideration given for your own safety through all this?
No, I didn't give it one thought. It was just, the instinct kicks in just to help. And once we realised that after Vanessa was pulled out, that Nico was still alive in there, and Winnie, of course, that was more encouraging to get them out alive.
Ron, I can't imagine how traumatic this has been for you and the other bystanders that bravely rushed in to help. How are you feeling now, a couple of days on?
It's still very raw in my mind, particularly from the point where the chopper came apart and hit the ground. The noise, that's something that every time I lay down to sleep at night, it just keeps playing over and over in my head. It's not a pleasant thing to see.
No.
No, Ron, I can imagine. I just actually can't imagine what it would have been like for you all. And even though you said you didn't fear for your own safety, it was terribly courageous what you and the other bystanders did to help those victims. So I hope you know that, and we certainly do thank you for coming on the show today and speaking about the experience.
No worries at all. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ron.